What's going on, guys? It's your man Ed Hayes, the wholesale coach here, and I am back for another video, guys. And in this one, look, I get asked this question all the time, like, Ed, how do I go about hiring on some virtual assistants so I can start to build and scale my business and make the business work a bit more for you instead of you working for the business, right? So I wanted to cover that in today's video. And also shout out to the person who actually suggested that I make a video about this topic. So if y'all want me to make videos on certain topics, certain subjects, feel free, drop a comment down below and let me know what the next video is that you want me to make. Some of the best ideas come from you all, so make sure that you all keep dropping those comments down below and I'll keep making the content that you want me to make. Now, I appreciate all the recent likes and subscribers on the channel, so if you haven't done so already and subscribe to the channel, go ahead, do yourself a favor so you don't miss out on all of these wholesaling how-to strategies, tips, guides, all of that good stuff. And best thing yet is that it's all free game. So like I said, do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button. Now let's go ahead, let's dive right on into it. So to start off with, there are two golden rules that I want to give you before we really start diving in about hiring virtual assistants. One, you need to have a vouch for that person or that company, meaning that someone that you know already is already using them and getting great results. Or you need to do the vetting yourself to make sure that this company is legit and that they can actually get the job done. Now in this video, we're gonna be primarily talking about that second category where you gotta go out there, you've gotta vet this team or this company, this person, and know whether they're legit or not. Do me a favor, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button for me, guys. It really helps the channel out a lot. Let's try to shoot for 50 likes on this video. Now let's go ahead, let's get into it. First things first, you want to determine what it is you're going to have them doing and getting the systems in place for them to use. The first thing to remember when you're hiring on virtual assistants is that they don't work for you, you work for them. Your job is to make sure that they get the best results. So it's very important to have a structure in place for them to win from day one, because when they win, you win. If you want them to be cold calling, then you're gonna wanna have systems in place like Call Tools or Mojo so you can track and analyze their calls effectively. If you want them updating your CRM and tracking KPIs and things of that nature, then you're gonna need to have a CRM in place such as Zoho or Asana or Podio. Some typical tasks that I'll hire on a virtual assistant to do are gonna be things like cold calling, skip tracing, cleaning up our data, updating our CRM, coordinating with title companies, sending out contracts, and giving out offers. Now, once you've determined what you want them to do, now it's time to go out there and find a reputable source for your workers. Now, I like to think there's like 4 types of VAs out there. You've got the not really a VA VAs. Those are the people that lurk on Facebook and other social media sites, and like they'll try to get you to spend money up front on calls that they have not made. Now, I've seen so many people get burned by not really VA VAs, so make sure that you're on the lookout for them. Second, you've got the language barrier VA. So I'm a firm believer that you should try to match your caller to the audience. So if you're calling a Spanish-speaking neighborhood, you probably want to have a Spanish-speaking person on that phone. The reason is because people like to do business with people that remind them of themselves. So that accent or the dialect that they use when texting, that can really turn a person off. So usually these language barrier VAs are really nice and they really want to get the job done, but they just don't know how to speak the language very well. Next, you've got the Freelance Closer VA. Now, these people very often get jumbled into the mix with scammers and the not really VA VAs. And you know, a lot of times it's kind of hard to tell them apart. But trust me, when you do find them, you want to hold on to them. Now, they work independently, so they're not with some big company, but they usually either are are working with or have worked with investors in the past to help them close deals. They understand the terminology already and what to ask for when they're on those phone calls. And they can speak and write the language as well, and they know how to get a deal through the closing table. And lastly, you've got virtual assistant companies. They usually have a team full of employees who have experience making the calls or doing whatever work it is that you need them to do. They usually have multiple options to choose from as well, such as voice and personality, so different people. But keep in mind that they may want half payment up front, but make sure that you watch this video until the end so you make sure that you're making the smartest decision before you bring them on. Also, hit that like button if you haven't already.
Push the button. Push the goddamn button.
Push the goddamn button.
You heard what she said.
Now, as far as where I like to get them from, my favorite place to bring on a virtual assistant is Upwork, where I can usually find people that I can hire on for as low as $3 an hour. But definitely, if you have any other suggestions, make sure that y'all drop them down in the comments section down below. Let's share some game with each other. But just know that I wouldn't trust some random person that reached out to me on Facebook to make my calls, but I have heard of a few people that have gotten somewhat decent people from that. So try that strategy at your own risk. So now that you've determined a source, you need to make sure that these people are actually legit or not. So here's what I like to do to kind of vet these people. First, I want to ask for recordings so I know how they sound on the phone, if you're going to have them calling. The next thing I would do is ask for references to make sure that these people have gotten the job done for other people in the real estate industry before. And don't just take their word for it, like actually call these references. Find out whether these people were actually satisfied with this person's service and any other information that they may want to give you about them. And lastly, I like to try to get them on a video chat preferably, so I can see what they look like and I can actually have a conversation with them. Now, I want to know that they're actually a real person, and I'm gonna do an interview with them on that call. Now, I do have a video which I'll link like up above and probably in the description that you can check out that shows you exactly how I go through that cold caller interview process. All right, so now that you vetted them and you feel confident that they're a legit company, now it's time to determine a pay structure and a schedule. Now, some people will already have a price established, such as like $6 per hour, but most of them are really flexible in that price, so make sure you negotiate. I typically pay between as low as $3 per hour and up to $7 per hour for a virtual assistant. And for a virtual assistant who's going to be doing primarily administrative tasks like, sending emails, sending out contracts, skip tracing, setting up campaigns, answering phones, honestly, I may need those people to work every day. Whereas if that's someone who's going to be making calls for me, I may want to start them out at like 3 days a week, maybe like 12 hours, like 4 hours per day. I like to start my callers off slow because if they aren't good on those calls, I don't want them burning through leads too fast. And here's a word of advice. Try not to pay cold callers up front before they've made the calls. Unless you know without a shadow of a doubt that this person can absolutely get the job done. Too many people out here are getting ripped off by fake cold callers and not really VAs and these so-called companies who are actually gonna do this for you, but they never do it. So try to find a company that's okay with you paying them once they've done the work. Typically, they get paid weekly. Either way, the pay and the schedule are definitely something that you want to take some time out in advance and think about. So now you hire this company or this individual on, and it's time to plug them into your systems and make sure that they're actually getting the job done. Now, the first thing, you've got to make sure that they actually understand your processes and what your expectations are. If they've never used your systems before, make sure that you walk through them with them so they know what to do. Maybe even consider making some videos on your computer with a screen recorder so you can make sure that they know how to do every task that you need them to do. And also maybe even consider writing out like a written guideline of like procedures on how to do this task and how to do that task, so you leave no room for error. Remember, they don't work for you. You work for them. Provide them with the script if you have them calling or texting, so you know what they're saying on those phone calls. And also give them guidance as to which questions are the most important. Make sure that you show them all of your protocols and procedures so they can literally become an extension of you. So lastly, once they're in your systems and they're rocking and rolling, then you're gonna wanna make sure that you're tracking and analyzing their results. I recommend recording their phone calls and always having them using your calling or texting software so you can make sure that you're tracking and analyzing their results effectively. Now, I don't wanna just take their word for it that they made X amount of calls today or did X amount of tasks. I wanna be able to see that. I need to see those calls made inside of my system. I need to be able to hear those recordings so I know what's being said on those phone calls. I don't want to just take someone's word for it. But make sure, guys, that you try to be patient with these people. Keep in mind, no one's going to be perfect right off the bat. And there will be some type of learning curve right at the beginning, to be honest. So just make sure that they're actually doing the work and seek improvements along the way. So like I said, no one's gonna be perfect from day one, but I do believe that with the recommendations in this video that you'll find somebody that's worth being patient for and can help you really take your business to the next level. All right, man, so look, if you made it to this part in the video and you haven't hit that like button yet, make sure that you go ahead and just gently tap that like button for your boy. Let's try to get 50 likes on this video, y'all. I really took some time out to try to put this process together for you all. If you want more help, more videos like this, make sure that you check out some more videos on the channel and or check out my Wholesaler University course if you want to get more detailed strategies on how to get out here and start getting deals. If you feel like, look, man, I've been watching video after video after video every single day. Look, I'm tired of watching videos. I'm ready to just dive into the game. Well, guys, look, feel free, check out my wholesale real estate coaching program. I will be more than glad to work with some of you all to be able to get out here and do deals together. And I'll show you all of the steps in the process, but it's only for the serious people. There is a link in the description, but it's only for the serious people, and it's only limited spots available because I'm just one person. I don't have no VA helping coach y'all and stuff like that, all right? Anyway though, guys, I hope that you all like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I hope that you all are having a blessed one. And until next time, guys, I am